Welcome back to another episode of Man versus Marriage Live. It is I, your humble servant, Quincy Moran, in the Moran Family Studio. I want to welcome you to this program. I'm very excited to share with you today what your next day one looks like, but also how to get there, how to determine what it looks like and how to get there, because I think it's incredibly important for you to know. And look, I'm going to tell you, I'll just qualify this right in the beginning, okay? You're talking to a guy here that used to be 382 pounds. So I know in the struggle with weight loss, I know in the struggle of my professional life that if you're anything like me, you have had multiple day ones. And I'm going to talk to you later very briefly about why that may not be a bad thing. If you're new to the program, I'm Quincy Moran, and Man versus Marriage is a journey-driven podcast talking about me and my wife, who've been married going on 26 years. Actually going 27 years. We made the 26-year mark. We have 8 kids, a son, 7 daughters. We have triplets. We have twins. We have been through significant amounts of adversity. And just to let you know, it's incredibly possible, no matter where you are, for you to find hope and to create the life and the relationship that you have always wanted. I go by this key phrase: who you are is not who you have to be. And when I found that out, my life changed dramatically overnight. Yeah, it actually did change overnight looking back. So let's talk for a minute about what your next day one looks like. I've prepared a monologue for you that I'm going to read here, all kinds of notes on it. And I want to make sure that I convey to you where we are coming from. Make sure you like and share this program. Make sure you share it now with people that may be looking for their next day one. Let's do this thing together. Feel free to comment on whatever platform you're watching, and I will read the comments out loud. There's a great possibility I will. I love interacting with you guys through these live chats. So let's get started right here, okay? I learned a valuable lesson when I coached high school football. What I did today would affect my tomorrow and would affect my future. When you are building something, you will not see it as fully formed or finished until the project meets its completion. It's imperative that we remember that. You will not see it as a finished project until it's completed. But make no mistake, as long as you stick to the process, you will build momentum. I need you to know that that momentum is going to be invisible, but it will not be invisible forever. You must trust your process. Until now, you may not have recognized that you have an opportunity to make an impact on human history. You have an opportunity to make an impact on human history in a historic fashion. It's what I call placing a demand on history. What does that mean? That means you live your life in such a way where you demand that history tells the story of your legacy, of who you are, who you became, in order to be the man, to be the husband, and to be the father that you promised you would be. And let me tell you, that has an incredible impact on human history, especially in the line of your legacy. Doing the work with excellence, no matter the outcome, which is almost always out of our control. What is within your control are the things that you are directly responsible for. That's my part of the process I call focusing on what you can affect. What are those things? It's your attitude. It is your actions. It is your effort. It is your intention. Those are within your control. So focus on what you can affect and do it with excellence. But here's what I've come to understand. more clearly now than ever. The real power is not just in the work where you build momentum, but the real power is understanding the power is in who you are becoming. How you do the work matters, but the power of this is the vision of who you are becoming. And I would ask you this question: do you know who you are becoming? Are you intentional about who it is you are becoming? If you can't answer that question, then obviously the answer to that question is no. And I know that I can help you because I have lived through this. When you choose to become a new man, something shifts. You begin to take back the authority that was always yours, but had been lying dormant under passivity, excuses, and old patterns. Your next day one is not about having everything figured out. It is about making a decision that who you are is not who you have to be. And then walking in that decision with daily intention. Here's something that I considered as I was getting ready for this particular program. What if every day is day one? What does that look like? Think about the times that you've started a diet. Think about the times where you're like, okay, Monday, it's always Monday. Monday, I'm going all in. It's the first of the month. I'm going all in. I almost started singing the song. It's the first. Monday's the first. I'm going all in. I'm going to do it this time. I'm going to get healthy. And Monday comes and goes, and it's one of the strongest days of the reboot that you've ever had. It's one of the strongest days of the kickstarting of this diet, or the kickstarting of this New Year's resolution, or whatever you want to put in that place. Day one is usually your strongest. It's where you have the most courage. It's where you have the most fire. It's where you have the best execution. So what if every day was day one? I'm just posing that question to you because it's very interesting to me. If we execute every single day like it's day one, how can we lose? So it's important for me to tell you that I'm not just talking like about something that I read in a book somewhere. That's not what's going on here. What's going on here is I'm talking to you from a place of testimony. Something that I've actually walked the path on. That's what makes it so much more compelling. That's what makes it possible for you to connect when you're watching a movie or when you're listening to a song, and you can relate to whoever is on the screen because they understand where you've been. If you have the courage to make today your next day one, you've got somebody in the game with you. And that somebody is me. I'm here. I'm here because I used to be you. Most men are waiting for something external to change before they change. I think this is also a trap we get into, like in church. I'm a Christian, and so we listen to sermons Sunday after Sunday. If you're really dedicated, you're going Sunday morning, Sunday night, you're going Wednesday night, and you hear these things in the Bible, like you hear these miracles that happen, and you're waiting for that shining moment. You're waiting for that Disney-style moment, and that's the time when you think things are actually going to change. Like the Archangel Michael comes out of the clouds. He's there. There's an orchestra behind him. It's like, Quincy, now is the time to change. I don't even know if he would speak English, but he's there. And there's trumpets and there's all kinds of fireworks going on. It's like, okay, now I know it's time to change. Here's what's interesting. It's a lot more boring than that. There is no Disney moment when you decide to change. There's no Disneyland moment. There's no Disney movie moment that's going to come and say, this is the moment you change and it changes forever. What you must do is make a choice to change. And that is how you change forever. Most men are waiting for their wife to respond differently so they have a better attitude. They're waiting for their kids to behave a little bit better so they feel like a better dad. The pressure to let up in their life. So waiting for things to get easier before they change or before we change. Or you're waiting for this like motivation somewhere to show up. That is not what it looks like. I assure you that's not what it looks like. But real transformation doesn't start with circumstances. It starts with a choice. When you make the deliberate choice to become a new man, and that's something that I did many, many years ago. I was already a Christian. I was already living my life for Christ. But I still felt lost in who I was actually becoming. So what was going to lead to that moment where I finally changed? What was going to lead to that moment when things were finally different? The beauty is that you can begin things by discipline, and the longer you're faithful to that, that's when Jesus can come in and you can reach transformation. And he does it from the inside out, so you actually become a new man. And that's what I want to encourage you today. It all starts with the power of a choice. And that's a power that you possess. That's a power that you have the ability to make, is a choice. When you make the deliberate choice to become a new man, you restore your authority. You stop living as a victim of your past. You stop living your emotions. You stop living your environment, and you begin leading from the man you are deciding to become. There's a man you promised you would be when you got married. Are you being him? Ladies watching the program, there's a woman you promised that you would be, so that we rightly divide this. Are you living that? Is that who you are? This is the same thread that we've been building through the Legacy Roadmap series. If you haven't seen it, I encourage you to go back and look at the Legacy Roadmap series, because it is line by line on how to begin to build your legacy and what that looks like. So what does it look like? In just quick summation here, it's guarding your quiet dialogue, that inner dialogue that you have going on inside of you consistently. It's telling you a narrative about who you are, and it's your choice whether you believe it or not. It's actually your choice whether you take those thoughts captive and you transform them. That is your choice. You have the choice to do that. It's shifting from the mindset of I have to do all these things to I get to do all these things. Coming from a place of gratitude rather than having a poor, stinky attitude. And now the daily choices to become a new man is what restores your authority and builds your legacy. Let me tell you something about your legacy, something that you may not know. I'm writing a book right now called Becoming Family Famous. And you learn a lot about yourself when you are writing a book. I promise you that. It challenges the very things that you believe. And then life has this way of bringing those challenges right there for you to experience so you can walk through them. It's important that you know that your legacy, what it is that you endeavor to become, to make an impact on your family, you're not going to see it while it's being built. You're not going to see that. You will catch glimpses of that as you move on throughout your life. But you must trust that the process that you've created, the faith you have in Jesus Christ, and moving forward every day, surrendering your own ambition to God's good and perfect will lead you to that life where you create a legacy that is undeniable, a legacy that makes an impact on your family and actually changes the course of your family's life forever. It sounds grandiose. In the grand scheme of things, it's actually not as grandiose as you might think. But you have the ability, should you make the choice, to impact human history within your own legacy. If you are willing to do it, I'm here to tell you it is completely possible. Real quick, I don't know when you're listening to this, but over here in the United States of America, baby, we just celebrated Father's Day. And it was outstanding to spend time with my children. It was outstanding to take that day to celebrate being a dad. But I don't wait for that day once a year. I live my life in such a way where I honor that every day. Sometimes I suck at it, and sometimes I fail. It's a fact of life. It's a part of being human. But I want to honor the gift that God has given me every day and live my life in honor of Him so that I can make that impact. I can be the man that He has called me to be, and that is about who you are becoming. Legacy is not built by a man you hope to become someday. It's built by the man you choose to be today, and then tomorrow, and then the next day. And you make that choice. That sparked the thought in me. What if every day was day one? What if you lived every day with that fire of day one in order to move this legacy one step closer to who you're becoming? The power of your life is activated by a choice. It's never going to be perfect conditions, like where everything lines up, like in the movies. That's not what's going to happen. Here's the thing about perfection, too. If it has to be perfect for you or you're not going to do it, I want you to know that's a cop-out. Saying that things have to be perfect or demanding that things have to be perfect. And I'm talking about you talking to yourself on the inside. When you say it has to be perfect or I'm not going to do it, all you're doing is giving yourself an opportunity to quit because you've been a quitter in the past. This journey does not require perfection. It requires you being willing to attack this thing with excellence. That's what's extremely important. When you surrender your ambitions in life to God's good and perfect will, He will examine your heart because you're asking Him to, and then He will lead you forward, and you will become the man that He is calling you to be. You might say, hey, Q dog, I don't know how to figure that out. Here's the good news. I can give you the path that I followed. That's not good. My battery's running low. I'll be right back. I'm back, baby. Yes. Okay. Yeah, that's the benefits of being a one-man show. Sometimes you blow it. Didn't plug that baby in. Anyway, let's continue here. When you choose to become a new man, you restore, what I would actually say is you reassume the authority that you have surrendered. What did you surrender it to? You surrendered it to mediocrity. You surrendered it by compromising what values you had. You surrendered it because you started doing what was easy rather than what was necessary. So making the choice right now, today, in this moment, wherever you're listening to this, you will begin and you will make that choice and you will You will reassume the authority that you've surrendered. And you will do nothing but grow in that authority with each day that you decide, I'm going to be this man. This is about who I am becoming. Legacy is built by daily decisions. It's not built by waiting for the right time. It's not built by waiting for the Disney moment, because it's not going to happen that way. Your next day one begins the moment that you make the choice to become this new man. You sit back and evaluate and say, am I the guy I promised my wife I would be? If you're not, it's time to change. It's time to grow. It's time to get yourself in gear by making the choice to become that man. And it's a choice that you have to make every single day, especially when life brings you adversity. Ed Milet says it so well. This is happening for you. It's not happening to you. And there's a litany of circumstances that you can bring to me. I myself, like you, have been through things that challenged me to the core of my humanity. I assure you, I have been there. Circumstances I never imagined before I was married, before I became a parent. The fact is that the choice that I made to become a new man and the circumstances and adversity following those days was all for something. And as a matter of fact, if you find yourself right now listening to this message and saying, man, it sounds like me, I'd taken a step back. I'm looking and I surrendered my authority. I accepted mediocrity. I wanted to go with the flow. I wanted the path of least resistance. I'm not the man I promised I would be. When you hear those things, or when you actually take the time to take responsibility for those things, today becomes your day one when you choose to become a new man. I'm going to talk to you right now about what becoming that new man actually looks like. When I started this process such a long, long time ago, a podcast, Jay Ferruccio, called Renegade Radio. I was at the gym in Lancaster, California, Physical Junkie Gym, my dear friend PJ Bowen. I was getting ready to get on the pull-up assist machine, and he started talking about this experience that he had with someone. He said, listen, this guy told me, he said, do this, fast forward to your funeral. Now imagine the people that you care about the most, your wife, your kids, if it's your siblings, whoever is the closest to you in your life. They're each taking an opportunity at the microphone to talk openly and honestly about the impact that you made in their lives. He said, what would you want them to say about you? What would the message be that they are telling everybody? What are the words? Start to come up with the words that you would want your wife or your kids or those people close to you. My husband had integrity. My husband was loyal. My husband was loving. He did it on purpose, and this is the difference that he made in my life. And he said, come back to the present day. Whatever that list of things were that those people said, if you change nothing today, will you become that man when you die? And it was important for me because the fact was, no, I wasn't going to become that man. I had to be real with myself. I had to look myself in the metaphorical mirror and say, you are not the man you promised you would be. And there's nobody you're going to blame. It's not your wife's fault. It's not your siblings' fault. It's not your parents' fault. It's not the government's fault. It's no one's fault but your own. So take responsibility, dude. Now, what's it going to take for you to live your life in such a way that when you get to the stopping point, when it's over, you become the man that you would want your family to say, this is who he is. This is who he was. This is the impact that he made on my life. And that's how you get there. Now, that's a discipline. And you can start with disciplines. You can start with that exercise. Maybe you only come up with 1 or 2 words. That's okay. That gets you on the path to becoming a new man. Maybe you couple that with the promises you made your wife when you said your wedding vows. And you don't look for areas where you can blame her or you can shift the blame on her and say, well, if she would just act, I would do this. Because that's not taking responsibility. That's blame shifting. So I'm calling you right now. I'm challenging you right now to ask yourself that very question. Am I the man I promised I would be? And then I'm going to ask you to go do that funeral experience. I'm going to ask you to write down 3 or 4 or 5 words that you would have those people you care about say about you. And then ask yourself, come back to the present day and say, if I change nothing about my life, will I become that man? If you're anything like me, the answer will be no. And that's when you make the choice to become that man. That's when the work begins. That's when you reassume. That's when you step back into your authority. Because now you are going to live your life on purpose. You are going to live your life for a purpose. And it's possible for you. I'm a living testimony of that. I got some beautiful cards yesterday from my children, who I believe are pretty honest. I got some words from my wife yesterday, who's very straightforward and honest. And I'm telling you, you will have a tremendous impact on your family. Let me tell you this. Listen, I want you to know this. Whether you're doing it on purpose, like whether you're living this life on purpose to make a positive impact, or you're living the reverse of that, which is taking the easy way, doing what's comfortable, living in mediocrity, you're already building a legacy in one direction or the other. So what do you want your legacy to be? What do you want your people to say about you? What would you want your children's children to say about you? Is there pain? Yes. Is it difficult? Yes. Is it worth it? Yes. When you're looking to change your life, it's not comfortable, but you've been comfortable for too long. It's what I call being comfortably miserable. And you don't have to live that way if you choose another path. It's incredibly possible. And then I want you to go out and I want you to live every single day like it's day one, knowing that each and every day that you go and execute with excellence, that you are building momentum. And momentum is invisible in the beginning. But you remain faithful to this process. Remain faithful to the process. And there comes a time where that momentum is undeniable. Don't wait for the Disney moment. Go out and make it. Go and make it. Not for you, but for the lives of the people that you love. Go out and make it. Set the standard high. Set the standard high for your children and who they select for a mate by living the example of what that looks like. When they go looking for a spouse, let's hope that they have a standard by which they can measure the man or the woman they're looking at. I really appreciate you listening. I'm going to ask you to make a clear and intentional choice today, this week. Decide right now that you're going to become a new man. For that matter, that you're going to become a new woman. Write it down. Say it out loud. Find somebody to hold you accountable, to support you. You have my email address. It's quincy@mvsmpodcast.com. And then I want you to find some of your fellow brothers in the faith, your fellow brothers in the walk. And I want you to challenge them to listen to this episode and do the same thing. Step in and assume your authority and begin to lead your family with excellence. Lead your family with love. Stop being the thermometer in your home and start to be the thermostat. And call upon God to come and help you, because He is faithful to do just that. He is good. Well, that is all I have for you this evening. Thank you so much to all the people that decided to watch live. Thank you for your interactions. Thank you for making, this last 30 plus minutes a time for us to get together and for us to challenge one another to be the absolute best version that we can be. Thank you for making the choice to lead your family. Thank you for making the choice to become a new man or a new woman. And I'm here to support you. How can I help you? I love you. I don't know you personally, but I love you because I used to be you. May grace and peace be in you. May it be working through you from the heavenly throne of God to earth. God bless you. The Q Dog is out.